Chit Chatify, our third episode, and I'm going to start off with a viewer email. It says, hey, how come you don't cover sports like NASCAR or golf? I try to cover sports that I don't fall asleep watching. Golf, have you ever listened to the commentary? Well, Jim, I think he's going to go ahead and try to put the ball in the hole in this shot. If he misses here on the next shot, he'll probably try to do the same exact thing. NASCAR, 4 hours of a left turn. You know, I know it's competitive driving and everything like that, but I cannot watch it. Maybe a couple laps, and by then, if I don't turn the channel, I'm probably taking a nap on the couch. So sorry if you're offended. If you guys like those sports, we'll not feature them on the show. It's kind of like watching bowling. There's no mystery. Bowling. Well, Bob, I think he's going to knock down the pins here. If he misses on his next ball, he'll probably try to knock them down again. There's just no mystery behind it, and so sorry you will not see that on the show. Moving into Major League Baseball, the Mets have officially traded away R.A. Dickey to the Toronto Blue Jays. Said this before after they signed David Wright that they probably weren't going to spend any more money on anybody else, and here's just another sign that I was right on that one. The Blue Jays trying to improve their pitching staff and do something in the American League East, whereas the Mets are looking to go into a rebuilding phase and do absolutely nothing again this season. Don't know how that's changed from any other season lately, but Mets not wanting to spend money again, letting their top pitcher from last season go. A team that's doing the exact opposite that has actually made a move to try to better themselves and do something this season. The Angels signing Josh Hamilton. They have got to be a favorite in the West this year. Who do you pitch to in that lineup? Between him, Pujols, and Trout, just the power. I think they're a definite threat. I think anything less than the playoffs this year is complete failure, and I definitely think that they're going to be a team to watch. In the NBA, the LA Clippers on a 9-game win streak with a record of 17-6, sitting on top of the Pacific Division, one of the best records in the whole Western Conference. The only LA team getting anything done right now. The Lakers still sitting negative with 11-14 record. D'Antoni has not righted the ship yet. Kobe looks tired. He looks like a man who's defeated right now. Offensive production is still there from Kobe, but if anyone saw his interview with Stephen A. Smith, the man looks like there was things he wanted to say, but he's not saying. He's trying to be the Zen master. He needs someone to step up in a leadership role other than just himself. You're not going to get that leadership from Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard is a guy who, when things are going south, he's looking for the door. We saw that with the whole situation last year with Orlando. Trade me, don't trade me, trade me, don't trade me. The man never knows what he wants or where his commitment truly lies. How long does Kobe have left in LA if things do not change? I know physically he's got at least 3 or 4 more years of good physical and offensive production, but mentally and emotionally, the guy has got to be worn out. And if they don't get things turned around soon, I think maybe next season may be the last season that you see Kobe with LA. Just my thought on that. I think Phil Jackson should have been the one hired. No disrespect to Mike D'Antoni, but I think Phil would have had them playing at least 500 ball at this point. A lot of people are going to say, oh, it's only a few games difference, but a few games now is going to translate into how many more wins down the road. So just something kind of mull over and to think about. But LA, if things do not change soon, I don't know how much longer we're going to see Kobe Bryant in a Lakers uniform. They're on the court, period. Moving over to the East, the Knicks won 9 of their last 10. They have the best record in the Eastern Conference and are the only team in the NBA who are undefeated at home. The Garden proving to be a extremely tough place to play this year. Even without Carmelo, ask Miami what happened. Knicks came out and played them tight, played them strong. The Knicks definitely showing that they are a force to be reckoned with in the East. If you look at the East in general right now, there's a lot of names. The teams who you wouldn't think would be towards the top of their divisions, and they are. It's kind of exciting to see them. A little sad. Boston, a game above 500, not playing very inspired ball. Just some things to look at as we get at least a quarter of the way through the season. I don't know who's going to get things turned around or what we're going to see come to All-Star break, but a lot of teams that were picked to be the favorites this year are not meeting their expectations. And just wondering, if we're going to see a completely different second half of the season, if teams are going to step up and kind of perform to the level they were expected to, or if we're just going to see a bunch of new teams at the top this year. College football, we've got about 2 weeks till all of the big bowl games take place. Kind of excited, kind of salivating. I hate this little break in between. A nice surprise as far as the bowls was the New Mexico Bowl, a bowl who most people probably didn't even know about. Turned out to set the tone for hopefully an excellent bowl season here. Arizona and Nevada playing an extremely tight game, very competitive, very entertaining. Hoping this is setting a tone for the rest of the games. Personally, I'm more excited to see the Oregon K-State game than I am the Irish and Alabama. So note to my manager, I need off by 6 o'clock that Thursday for the Fiesta Bowl. No excuses. You got plenty of notice now. I've got football to watch. But definitely looking forward to these bowl games, getting all hyped up. I know there's a lot of guys that I work with that are getting hyped up for the college bowl games too for the BCS. So I'd like to hear some predictions. I'm taking Oregon in that game. I am going to go ahead and take Alabama reluctantly over the Irish. Not something I want to do. And as far as Stanford playing Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl, I hope Wisconsin just stomps Stanford. No disrespect to any Stanford fans or college alumni or anybody there, but I don't like Stanford ever since Andrew Luck and all that went down over there. Just don't like the team. And Wisconsin getting into the bowl, sure, they probably didn't deserve to be there, but you know what? Do something with the opportunity. Make a name for yourself. Make a statement in the game. Now getting into the NFL, Adrian Peterson going full beast mode again this week. 212 yards with a rushing touchdown. He is 294 yards short of Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record. I think the goal is definitely attainable. They got a tough matchup with Houston this next week. I think if he can get 140 yards against Houston, he could easily get the 154 the following week against Green Bay. It's nothing against Green Bay, but they do not have that strong of a running defense. And Peterson, the things he's been doing, some of the cuts and moves he's been making right now, I think could easily put up 160, 170 against Green Bay. So next week I think is definitely going to be a clear sign of whether or not he's going to get to the record. I think he's got to put up a good solid first half against Houston. They got to wear that defense down, and then he could explode in the second half with some big rushes. My respect to the guy. A lot of people, with him being a year removed from knee surgery, thought a great season for him would have been 1,000 yards this year. So to be working towards 2,000 plus, I think is just an outstanding accomplishment. It shows what hard work and determination, when you put the effort in, what you can get back in return. Moving over to the NFC East, a three-team tie now for first place. The Giants just collapsing against Atlanta. Atlanta coming off the blowout last week just came in and just slapped the Giants around. Giants playing very inconsistently. They didn't take advantage of any of the opportunities that they had. I don't know if they were just underprepared, if they're tired or what, but they didn't even look like they showed up for that game. Dallas, another nail-biter. Field goal in overtime after a Brandon Carr interception. Pittsburgh kept the game close. It looked closer than it actually was. I mean, the defense on Dallas really only gave up two big plays that both wound up resulting in Pittsburgh touchdowns. Other than that, though, Dallas's defense was pretty solid. Romo played a very, very good game. A lot smarter decisions with the ball. And Dallas just looked like they were a lot more focused coming in there. The Redskins, Cousins showed that he can lead the team. Shanahan's looking like a genius at this point now. A lot of people were wondering why they drafted two rookie quarterbacks, and him saying at the beginning of the season, in case RG3 should get hurt. But Cousins stepped in. He threw for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. The running game was there. So right now it's exciting football. The East is up for grabs. Dallas has the toughest of the 2 games left. They have New Orleans coming in after New Orleans blowout this week. Drew Brees, 4 touchdown passes in that game. Dallas cannot afford to give up the big pass in that game, or it's going to be a very long day for Dallas. Right now the future's in their hands. If they can beat New Orleans, I think they have a very, very good shot at taking the East. If they lose that game, though, right now I got to say I favor the Redskins, especially with RG3 coming back. That offense is in sync right now. Just things happening on both sides of the ball. I think the Redskins are definitely a team to watch right there. For our Q&A segment, last week we asked you 2 questions. First off, Do you consider Kobe Bryant to be one of the top 5 players all time in the NBA? And the second question we asked was, who was your pick to win it all in the NFL this year? We got 4 email replies back. Guys, don't be afraid to email me back and give me your opinions and your arguments for what you believe. I'm not going to read your names on the show. We anonymize everything. We just read back your replies. So if you're a little timid or hesitant to reply back, don't worry. Give us your feedback. We look forward to it. I look forward to discussing it on the show and possibly outside the show. To answer the first question, Kobe's only the fifth player to score 30,000 points in a season. Yes, he's got to be top 5. Until somebody else scores that many points, no argument. I can agree and disagree at the same time with the argument. I don't think you can base being the top 5 all time solely on points. He's a phenomenal athlete, an outstanding player, but I don't think you can base that solely on just points scored. I know that's a tough one. I know there's going to be some people watching the show that will argue back and forth with me until we're both blue in the face. But just personally, I have him in my top 10. I just don't know about top 5. As far as who's going to win it all, kind of a surprising answer, but at the same time not surprising. Broncos, baby, we're for real this season. Yes and no, man. The Broncos are for real this season. Phenomenal winning streak. Peyton Manning doing a great job. But there are still just some teams in AFC that are still beasts. Don't count the Patriots out. Don't count the Texans out. A lot of Texans people overlook the fact that the Texans have the best record in AFC. They had 2 games where they, were inconsistent and everything like that. You never know what you're going to get with them. I do think the Broncos are a legitimate threat. I'm not counting them out at all. I mean, anything can happen. That's the beauty of football. And in the NFC, I mean, it's too close to call. A lot of teams still in the hunt, still in the thick of things. The 3-way tie right now in the NFC East, I mean, anything can happen. If I had to be put on the spot, my Super Bowl prediction at this point, I'm going to say is a rematch of Sunday night's game, the Patriots and the 49ers. If I had to pick a winner in that, I'm going to say the 49ers. I just think San Francisco just has just so many weapons on offense and just a great defense. So if I had to pick a team, on the spot right now, I'm going to go with them. Not a team I like to pick. I'm definitely a Dallas fan all the way. But I just think that as far as a team as a whole, that they're probably the toughest competition right now. Our question this week for you guys is a 2-parter, both with the NFL. I didn't mention Calvin Johnson, but he's featured in this question. Do you think that Calvin Johnson is going to break Jerry Rice's single-season receiving record? And do you think Adrian Peterson is going to break Dickerson's record for rushing yards? My personal picks, I'm going to say no to Johnson and yes to Peterson. The reason for no to Johnson is, Matthew Stafford, if he has just one game like he had last week, I don't think Johnson's going to get the yards. I think he'll come close, but I want to say he's going to be about 70, 80 yards short. Peterson, yes, because I don't think anyone can stop him right now. The Texans have a great defense, but he is locked in right now. I don't think anyone's going to shut him down. I'm going to say he's going to run for 145 against the Texans and a $170 against the Packers, setting a new record. So definitely give me your feedback. I look forward to it. We will not be back next week for the show in observance of Christmas. We are going to be taking off, so I'll see you guys back in 2 weeks. Some of you are wondering where's Cowboy Nation Conversation. I'm going to go ahead, and that's going to be a completely different show on its own. I just don't have enough time in the show to squeeze it in to talk about everything about the Cowboys that I'd like to. So we're going to go ahead, and Cowboy Nation Conversation is going to be its own show. Please email us back, chitchatify@gmail.com, all your questions, concerns, or comments. And I look forward to seeing you guys back in 2 weeks. Have a great holiday, Merry Christmas, and I hope your family, friends, and everything else is just blessed this year.